Okay, as we switch gears here, oh, look at that. It's like passing in the theater lobby.
Yeah, right.
Hello, Randy Duncan. Welcome.
Hey, Jenai, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm good at this last hour or 15 minutes or whatever we have, right?
Yeah, thank you for helping us close this out. So
Yeah.
strong too. And actually, I just asked this question of Ashley. One of the things that we try to do is, document the community to its fullest. And unfortunately, there are those who were a part of the community and still are in spirit that we're not able to talk to anymore. And Joseph Holmes was such an important person here that you got to work with extensively. So I'm wondering if we can just start out by hearing a little bit about Joseph.
Oh my God. Well, Joseph Holmes was really a fantastic teacher and choreographer who, of course, was grew up here in Chicago, but left Chicago to go to New York to study for several years because he really wanted to have a company very similar to the Alvin Ailey Company. The diversity was part of that, but also recognizing the style and the aesthetic that Ailey used. And so he went there and came back and started his own company. Prior to leaving Chicago, he had a company where he was doing Afro Caribbean dance, as it were. And then he went there because he wanted to study with the greats, the Martha Grahams, the Alvin Ailey, of course, and then at Dance Theater Harlem as well. So he went there, gained quite a bit of knowledge, came back, wanted to put together a company, which he did, a company of dancers who were very enthusiastic about dancing and had the spirit and all, but needed the kind of technique that the Ailey Company had. So he enlisted Miss Harriet Ross. I know you've heard her name a few times already today. Who is this? I think the world's greatest coach, and she happened to be my manager as well, and also someone who has managed the Joffrey Company um, also, and continues to lead and guide the Chicago dance community in a number of ways. So we have her to thank for the Joseph Holmes Chicago Dance Theater because she is the one that really whipped those dancers into shape and became a world class dance company, whereas we were able to travel around the world. Um, uh, not before Joseph did, not before Joseph died, but after he passed away, and then I took over the company. So yeah, but he was a phenomenal man, very very funny guy. Um, Martha Graham was like his goddess, you know, and so he came back having us train under Harriet Ross with the Graham technique. So that's really kind of the way that it was. Wonderful choreography, you know, very athletic, exciting, inspiration from both Graham and from Ailey and all, but really, really wonderful company.
And when you talk about those dancers, you were one of those dancers.
I was one of those dancers. Yes, I was age 15 when I started with Joseph Holmes, and I've certainly known Harriet all that time. And it was a blessing. It was really, really a blessing. I came in, I learned all the choreography, both the girls and the guys, and it just didn't matter. So I was ready. Anytime somebody was injured or left the company, then I was ready to step in. So I really learned quite a bit being in the company as a dancer, and then was asked to choreograph after I had been asked to teach and take over some of the classes when Joseph wasn't there. He realized that I had a gift for teaching, as well as choreographing. And that's how that all began. Everything started with the Joseph Holmes Dance Theater, with concert dance, I should say.
Right, and you use this phrase, stepping in. You stepped into another role with the Joseph Holmes Company and directing it. How old were you when that happened?
I was 28, I believe, at that time. Yeah. And I was still dancing. I danced for a couple more years and then decided, this is way too much choreographing, directing a company, and teaching classes. It was going to be all too much. And I just really wanted to do the best job that I could do for the Joseph Holmes Dance Theater. So I decided to step off stage and just choreograph and be the artistic director of the company. And this was a time in which the company was really taking off and just touring all over the world. And I needed to be there for the dancers, so that's what I did.
And you mentioned teaching. This was the point where teaching became a part of your career when Joseph saw that you were able to do that and you started teaching. And sorry, go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I started teaching, realized that I had a knack for it, and I loved doing it. And so to this day, I continue to teach master classes, workshops, and of course, I am the chair at the Chicago Academy for the Arts, where I'm teaching and training these dancers who are interested in becoming professional dancers. And this is a performing arts high school. And many of them, once they graduate, they're ready to go straight into a professional company. Um, some of them have gone on to Broadway, some straight into the Joffrey Ballet, the in New York City Ballet as well. I mean, just all over. Alvin Ailey, yeah, they've come from the Chicago Academy for the Arts, and it's because of the training that they get there. We have on the faculty dancers who have had their own professional careers as far as dance is concerned, and they impart their knowledge with these young artists who are coming up, starting as freshmen in high school, and it's great. And we also have Harriet Ross come over to do some coaching as well. So she's imparting her knowledge also. So we are very, very fortunate to be in that position.
Yeah, one of the things we've been doing today is, sort of pulling on these threads and tracing lineages. So I'm wondering, in all of your teaching and working with the students at the Chicago Academy, what are some maybe lasting lessons that you learned from Joseph and Harriet or Harriet that then you find yourself imparting to your students?
Oh my God. Discipline, that's the first thing, and understanding what you're dancing about and why you're doing it. I mean, why are you here? Uh, those are questions that need to be asked, because if you don't have the passion for this, and you know how hard this dance world is, um, then there's no reason to do it, because they're definitely not doing it for the money. And that is for sure. So that is the knowledge, and it's the thing that I learned both from Harriet and from Joseph, that you really, really have to understand that you're doing this for a reason. This is your life. This is what you eat, sleep, and dream about. It's really what you're living for. That is really the imparting knowledge to these kids.
Well, you're joining us toward the end of our marathon here, and I'm looking at my backdrop and looking at you, and thought maybe we could kind of bring it back into this space. I mean, you're so well known for the finales of Dance for Life. Can you tell me a little bit about working with them over the years?
Oh my God, Jenai, this is one of the things that I love about this city. I was able to, in 1994, I believe, was my first finale for Dance for Life. and all I did was ask if dancers from the companies that were performing, if there were any dancers interested in doing a finale. And of course, there were all these people, all these dancers, I should say, who said, "Of course I am, of course I am." And it was basically a befitting way to finish the evening after there's been, companies who've gone on and done things from their rep. And I said, well, let's pull a few dancers from each of those companies, and I'll create a dance, and it will be the end of the evening. And it has been going so well ever since. I think we're in the 30th year this year, I believe, coming up. And it has been absolutely wonderful. And it's because I get to work with creme de la creme here in Chicago. Those dancers who are with the Joffrey, the dancers who are with, or once with River North, with Gus Giordano, all these companies that you had on earlier. So, in just the pure energy and excitement of them dancing with each other when they did not know each other before, but always went out to support the various companies, and it's just a fascinating way to work with the dancers from across the city. And
Well,
then that auditorium that you are in, I have to say that that is my favorite theater in Chicago. Always has been. It just feels so warm and wonderful, and look how beautiful it is. Yes,
you are
and
not
so
alone in that, that's for sure.
uh, I know it has always been my favorite ever since I was a little kid. Coming in there to see the Alvin Ailey Company, I've always enjoyed that. And then the Joseph Holmes Dance Theater, that was their first big theater that we performed in, was the auditorium.
Wow, that I didn't know. Yeah, no pressure there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And by the way, I have a connection with the Sammy Dyer School of Theater, with Ted Levy, with Braille Brett. I went to Sammy Dyer way back when. Yes, who knew, right? Just an amazing place. Yes, that was the first school that I actually went to under the guise of Geraldine Johnson. But Shirley Hall Bass was my acrobatic teacher, and is the only place, Janae, that I never took tap. What it's known for, I did not take. I was the only black boy that was there taking ballet and modern dance, right? So everybody else was into the acrobatics and tap.
Well, way to be different, Randy Duncan.
Yeah, that's right. That is correct.
Well, it's been so great to, scratch the surface of your own dance histories today. Thank you so much for being a part of the interview marathon.
Thank you so much for having me. I have enjoyed listening to everybody and seeing the connections that we all have. And I'm looking forward to some future projects.
Likewise, likewise. Okay, so I will talk to you again soon for sure.
Okay, thanks so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
You too.
Uh-huh.